So we live. It says that we
Yes,
live.
sir.
It says we
What
live.
up? What up? What up?
What up? We live, bro. We back. Culture Clash, episode
Culture
3.
clash,
Welcome back.
baby.
Welcome back. It's been a long time. It's been like a month. Obviously, we got a
It's
lot
been
to
a little
talk
minute.
about. A lot to talk about. A lot of stuff that went down. A lot of stuff that is currently going down in the media. It's not even wrapped up yet. So it's
Exactly.
gonna be a good conversation. Shout out to everybody that I know. I don't think anybody's in the chat yet, but everybody that does end up eventually coming in. Shout out to everybody. So we're gonna start off slow and work our way to the bigger topics that's going on right now. First thing that we're gonna talk about, let's talk about Josh Giddey. We're gonna talk about Josh Giddey and what's going on with the
Josh
NBA
Giddy.
situation, man. So we all know it's been, it's not too often that a white boy makes some noise in the NBA. Usually when they do make some noise, it's because they playing ball.
They hoop it. Exactly.
They hooping. Josh Giddey, while I can't say I'm too familiar with his, his gameplay or his performance on the court. Obviously, we've been hearing a lot about him the past week because he's allegedly been exposed for having this alleged relationship with a minor underage girl. Now, I haven't seen any official reports or statements about how old the girl actually is, but I think Josh Giddey is only like 21, so I'm assuming this girl's probably like 16 or 17.
Yeah, they saying she's 15.
Oh wow, 15. Wow. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So technically she's not even I believe the legal age of consent in America is like 16, right? If I'm not mistaken. Should it
Nah,
be?
bro. I mean, I
It's 15?
honestly I don't know. I thought it was 18. That
Well, no. Well, yeah, like 18 is when you're like legal to make, like straight up nobody could do nothing. But from what I understand is like you can still get charged for statutory if the girl is 16. Because basically 16 is like, your parents are still responsible for you legally.
yeah.
Um but what they're saying is that the girl themselves or the person that's 16, if they are 16, they can make the decision themselves on like, wow, all those videos are gone. Basically what they want to do. So anyway, so basically what they're saying is obviously that Josh Giddey has been in this relationship for some time with this underage girl. So what do you think? First, before we get too deep into it, first give me your basic thoughts on this. Like, what were you thinking when you first heard or when you first saw the news? And also let us know how familiar you are with Josh Giddey, like as a
So
player.
yeah. I'm like pretty familiar with Josh Giddy. I mean, he got a good game. Like I ain't gonna like he's one of the big reasons why the Thunder are where they at right now. You know what I mean? Like when it comes to their record currently, like they're doing really good. So he's a hooper.
Right.
But this is I mean, these are some serious accusations,
Right. Right.
and
Absolutely.
yeah, to have like a 15-year-old girlfriend, and like people were wilding on him on different social media sites because seeing pictures like that and him talking about his girlfriend. And before anything, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt currently that
Okay.
he really didn't know her age for real.
Really? Wait, wait,
That's
wait, wait, wait. Hold on. That he didn't know her age until when? Until
until
recently?
everything blew up, because that makes no sense to continue a relationship with a 15-year-old girl, bro.
Well, okay. Well, yeah, that I can see your reasoning on that, but then that leads me to the next thing. So what they're saying now is that obviously the police have opened some sort of investigation. But from what I'm reading recently is that the girl's parents don't want anything, like they're not cooperating. They don't want to have anything to do with it. They're not participating in this investigation. So in
Yeah,
other
I
words,
seen that.
yeah. So in other words, they obviously don't want Josh to be charged with anything, right? Like he's obviously, So with that being said, I will counter and say he did know exactly how old this girl was. I feel like obviously he's been dating her for a while. I assume he obviously knows her family, and they obviously know this kid's in the NBA. He has some sort of status. He clearly has money. So, they're probably like, man, 3 more years and this girl's legal anyway. So, yeah, like speaking from the parents' perspective.
I
So
yeah,
with them not participating in the investigation, it makes me just think that clearly they knew what was going on. So I feel he must have known how old she was if they were that
yeah,
close.
I was thinking that. So it was like two things I was thinking, right?
Right.
It's either that what you said, like they do know, and they're like, yeah, stay with this dude behind the scenes. We're not gonna cooperate. 3 years, you're paid, because obviously this dude's a hooper,
Right.
and this can get somewhere. Or number two, they know behind the scenes that the girl somehow bamboozled him, and it doesn't make no sense for them to pursue anything because maybe he has proof that she's like, hey, I'm 18, this and that. You understand what I'm saying? And they're like, yeah, it's like
Right.
really, what can we cooperate with? Like, she did this. We have no real case to, well, they do have a case, but I don't know. So those were my two options. Like, I'm kind of 50-50 on it because I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna give him the you're guilty until proven innocent in this case. But
Right.
yeah, nah, like it's like 15, bro.
Yeah, 15 is pretty bad. And that's what I'm saying. I mean, because like I said, I assumed she was at least 16, 17, and that, he probably was just like, all right, she's close to 18, but 15. And again, I think from what I read, he's been dating this girl for a while. So I'd assume
That's
he
wild.
probably got with her long before she was 15.
That's
Uh,
wild.
sorry,
Like
let me.
I'm thinking like what did if he probably wanted to go to a club or something? Yeah, he had to know her age, bro. Like
But then okay, so with that too, with money and power, obviously becomes some sort of like privilege and stuff. There's probably, like you said, maybe there could have been a situation where he knew she was not of age because they tried to get into a club or something. But he's Josh Giddey. He's in the NBA at this point. He's probably not even getting checked. Whoever's with him is probably just walking in with him to wherever
that's
club
true.
or event he's going into. As
That's
far as
true.
buying alcohol, he was probably the one always buying the bottles or whatever. So then, I'm only saying that if the case is like how you said, and he did not know the age of this girl. I don't know. I find that to kind of hard to believe that he'd be
That's
dating
very
someone.
tough to believe, but like I said, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt in this situation, but
Right.
it still seems crazy, bro, because my man's really was caught. Because the thing is, he was really openly calling her his girlfriend, like on
Yeah.
everything. You know what I mean?
Right.
So unless you're like mentally like challenged or something, you're gonna know like this is not right. This is illegal. I
Right. Yeah.
shouldn't be posting this all over the place that this is my girlfriend or I'm here with my girlfriend and this girl's 15. That's
Okay.
the only reason I think like he was kind of bamboozled.
Right. So let me ask you this. So if he wasn't being bamboozled, okay, whether or not, or let's say, okay, no, let's say he was being bamboozled and he did not know the girl's age. Do you think he still should receive some sort of consequence or some sort of punishment or
If you
not?
saying
Like,
if he was bamboozled and
yeah,
didn't know
like
the girl's age,
if he didn't know that she was 15, like if he thought she was at least 18.
yeah, no, I think he should get off. I think that like if he was bamboozled, not necessarily she should. I don't think she should get charged, but I think they should kind of just let it go and like a slap on the wrist type deal. But he was bamboozled. If he was bamboozled, but if not, yeah, they're gonna have to deal with him, boy.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not looking too good. I mean, especially some of these photos. He's like half naked with this girl in the bathroom. They're,
That's what I'm saying. When you see stuff like that, it just doesn't make sense that you're posing half naked in the bathroom with a 15-year-old. You know this is not legal. Like
right, right,
it's
crazy.
wrong.
And and it was making me think too, like like whether he was bamboozled or not, whether he knew how old she was not. Clearly, this was someone that he was dating and in a relationship with. So I'd imagine now, obviously on paper, they have to be broken up, like legally, maybe not
Hmm.
emotionally. He's probably maybe even still in contact with her. But it does suck that, I mean, if that's someone, he obviously can't be in public with her anymore, at least. And then when she does turn 18, 19, if he is with her still, obviously he's going to be accused of grooming and
Yeah.
stuff
No,
like
for
that.
sure. He's
So
gonna he's gonna definitely be accused of grooming. And it's crazy. I mean, now I'm thinking, I don't know, because supposedly from what I seen, like when I was looking around on different social medias, and this could be cap, but I seen them saying that this is how they get down in Oklahoma for real. Like,
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, come on.
yeah, they said at 14. I think the legal age is like 14 in Oklahoma, from what I
Yeah,
seen. I don't know for sure,
yeah, in the
but
South, especially like like places like Oklahoma or Middle America, whatever, like definitely different. But yeah, I mean, and that's what I was going to ask you next. Like, I personally don't believe Josh Giddey is is the only man in the NBA or in sports dating someone allegedly younger than they should be. So I mean, obviously he's just one of the ones that's gotten caught and that
yeah.
got exposed, or I guess you would say more.
Okay, so here I'm looking. The legal age of consent in Oklahoma is 16, like you said. I
Right.
don't know if that's like just universal in the United States.
Yeah,
So if it's 16, he could have been bamboozled that she was 16. It's still, in my opinion, it's still weird. It's still like
yeah. I mean,
grooming. But
yeah,
if she bamboozled him, said she was 16
yeah.
and she was really 15, that could explain the pictures and saying that this is my girlfriend and things like that. Like,
Yeah,
oh, she told me she was 16.
yeah,
It
yeah.
still sounds crazy.
Sounds bad because I think
It still sounds bad.
rule of thumb, if your girlfriend is still in high school and you're not, like, you probably step away from that
Yeah,
situation.
if you're a professional NBA basketball player for a
For
few
20
years
Yeah, yeah,
and your girlfriend's in high school,
right.
yeah,
Probably not a good
that ain't
look.
hitting, boy. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But we're gonna see what goes on. Happens with Josh Giddey. Like they said, there's an investigation that's open. The girl's parents aren't really participating, but we'll definitely see what goes on. So next, let's move it on. Let's talk about this tournament, man. We got this new thing that's going on in the NBA right now. I completely forgot it was going on, or that this was a new thing until I saw ads and stuff like on the subway. And I was like, oh, this is a thing. And then also I haven't been able to sit down and really watch a game since it
Yeah.
started. But I've seen like little clips. I've seen dudes getting like real chippy. I'm like, yo, why are they getting so like crazy at in
You're like, yo,
October?
why they
Like,
going in?
yeah. And then I see, I'm like, oh, okay. So I don't know much about this tournament thing. So I was hoping you did, so that you could kind of tell me and the rest of us a little bit about it. So I understand this is a new thing. What exactly is why do they want to win this? What do they get? Do they get a ring? Is it just a trophy? What exactly is it?
So the new in-season NBA tournament, I'm actually a fan of it. Like a lot of people
Okay.
are saying that it kind of doesn't make sense. They don't like it like that or whatever, but I'm actually a fan of it.
Yeah, I don't
Like you said, it's bringing out more competition in the second half of the beginning of the season, the NBA
Right,
season.
right.
What it is pretty much they're modeling it off of soccer, or
Oh,
sorry,
okay.
excuse me,
Oh,
football, the original football. They're modeling it off of the original football to where they're doing an in-season tournament. Now, mind you, I don't know everything like 100%
mhm.
because it's still new, so it's still new to me.
Right.
And they do a point system. So there's different brackets, and I think it's 2 brackets in the East, 2 brackets in the West, something like that. And they do point differentials. Whoever scores the most points and has the most wins is going to be number 1. Number 2 is going to be whoever has the second most points and wins. Like, so say the second team has less losses.
Yeah.
Sorry. If the second team has less wins but more points, then they could possibly be number 1. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. Okay, I get what you're saying. So it's more about the points
It's
than
points and wins.
okay.
You know?
So who's
So
winning right now? Like who is and so wait,
yeah,
another question. In the end, is it mandatory that it's gonna be a East Coast team versus a West Coast team in the end? Like just like the playoffs or
I have to double check that. I don't think so, but I have to double check that. So, but the 2 teams are going to play against each other in Las Vegas, and I think the other teams, it's going to be like a little mini tournament in Las Vegas. They said it's going to be like a game 7 atmosphere each game. One, like, what do you call it? Like winner takes all. So whoever wins, it's one game win, not like no series.
wait, and so
Whoever
sorry to
wins,
interrupt, but does the
hmm?
so the wins and losses in this does not count to the regular in season wins and losses?
The in-season tournament when they was doing it before, like every Tuesday and Friday, those count. And I think the next 2 games count for each team. And then that last game, the championship game, that's not going to count towards regular season. Regular season record is going to count. That's just going to be the championship game for the in-season tournament. Whoever wins the in-season tournament, I think each player gets like 500K.
What? Are you
Yeah,
serious?
yeah. Whoever wins the in-season tournament, each player gets 500K. The loser, I think they get like 300K each.
No wonder they
And
going so
then, yeah. So there's money involved as well.
okay.
And yes, I think it brings a lot of fire to the game. There's a lot of players who are mad because at the end of the game, when a team's getting beat down and the other teams they're still trying to score, like going hard, and they're like, "Yo, y'all already beating us down. Like, why y'all
Yeah.
trying to score?" That
Yeah.
whole thing is going out the window now because before people be like, "Nah, you can't score in the last 10 seconds of the game if you're beating us by 10." Nah, forget that. Put the ball in the basket, man. We're playing basketball.
Right.
So it brings a lot more competition. And some players I'm mad about, but I feel like the winning players, like Devin Booker, he said something like, "Yeah, I'm gonna keep scoring to the end." That's the type of player I am. Like, I'm not gonna be worried about your feelings or whatever.
Right.
And yeah, I'm about hooping, so I'm gonna score to the end.
Wow.
So I feel like the winners, the people who like to compete,
Right.
like it. The other ones who just really just want to hoop and just show off their skills and stuff like that, they're kind of iffy about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
So
It seems a bit confusing, but
it
like
is
you were
confusing. I ain't gonna cap. It is confusing.
it's confusing, but I will say that from what I've been seeing, it's obviously making the beginning of the season a lot more exciting than usual
Mhm.
and a lot more watchable. So I'm sure it's doing good for the ratings and like it's obviously incentive for the players too if they're getting paid 500 300K to win.
Exactly.
So yeah, man. And so but everything else as far as the season stays the same, the playoffs start at the same time and all that, everything else is the same.
Yeah, everything else is the same. The only difference is they're playing one. The team who gets to the championship is
Hmm.
only playing one extra game of the season, and that's that game.
Okay, okay.
So they get to the championship, they're gonna play 83. The other teams are gonna play 82.
Got
All
you.
82 games. They're still playing 82 games. And Infinite Media player
Shout out Infinite
plays.
Media. Shout
Shout
out
out to
to
you,
my
man.
dog right
Said,
there.
will
So
they have this again next year?
yeah,
It
I think
seems
so.
like
Every
it.
year, right? I
As
think
it
that's what they
seems
said.
like that
It's a new thing.
because
Yeah. Like
you see how they changed the court up. It's kind of bringing a new vibe to the NBA. I actually went to a game. I went to an in-season tournament game, and I was fire. It's like
yeah.
it
Oh, let
was
me
dope.
ask you this too. On like the bracket, I don't know if I was seeing something weird, but like on the bracket with the names of the teams, there was like some weird like teams that I like. Do they name their teams differently or something? Because I saw like some teams that like weren't NBA team names, or
Nah,
maybe
I
I was
don't
seeing
know.
something weird. I'm
I
gonna
don't know.
find
I
a
don't know.
picture
We've
of what
seen
I
that.
saw later and show it to you because I was like, what the hell is this? But yeah, I think it's something that they're gonna be doing. From what I read, it's like the new thing they're trying out, and if it does well, this is gonna be the new standard. So
Yeah, I honestly think it's dope. It's a start for something bigger for basketball in general
right,
because, like I said, they're trying to model off of football,
right,
not American football. Football, like with your foot.
international.
Yeah, international football. So they're trying to model off of that and get big to that aspect to where I wouldn't be surprised if they started using this model in, unless they already do, I'm not sure, but in FIBA, like
Oh,
international basketball, because that last international basketball run, that was pretty dope. I like that as well.
yeah. Okay, yeah. So we're gonna keep up with that. We're gonna see what happens with the NBA tournament for the rest of the tournament. Moving on, man. Let's talk about Black Friday. Black Friday. What happened to Black Friday, man? Black
Bro,
Friday. This it's non-existent, really. Like it's not even
bro,
a thing, to be honest. Like there's virtually no deals, like especially not like how they used to be back in the day, 40, 50, 60% off. I saw only thing that I could say that I saw Best Buy had some really good deals on like TVs. A couple of TVs were
N-
no, I saw
nah, bro,
no.
they finessed everywhere. I ain't gonna cap, bro. If
I know
anybody,
Target finesse, Target for sure, like really
bro, if anybody watch, I'm starting to do some little mini vlogs on my Instagram. I went to Best Buy, I went to Target, and they just finessed, bro. All
yeah,
these deals, I think they're doing the finessing because Amazon is killing the game.
yeah, facts.
Because Amazon is doing Prime Day damn near 3 times a year. I don't
Yeah,
know how much times they do Prime Day, but they're just getting the deals off easy, and it just makes it so easy and simple. But yeah, autumn deals, the ones I seen in Best Buy, you can get them deals on Amazon.
yeah,
That's
I know.
number one.
Facts, yeah.
It's like the same deals as Amazon. Then I'm seeing stuff $20 off, $30 off. I seen TVs. I got a decent deal on the TV, but I realized that I could have got the same deal on Cyber Monday.
Yeah.
Maybe in a couple weeks, I'm gonna get the same deal on Prime Day. You know
Yeah,
what I
man, it's
mean?
crazy. It seems now that Black Friday is more so just like a facade or like
Yeah,
a title than an
facade for sure.
actual day of deals. Because everyone's like, "Oh, Black Friday sale," but I'm like, "Yo, these are just the regular prices or the regular sales that y'all normally have." And definitely, and again, I feel like maybe like maybe COVID has something to do with the physical people not getting in line anymore or not really wanting to. Because I saw that too, that there wasn't really crowds and stuff like that at like
Yeah, no crowds.
type thing.
I seen now. Don't get me wrong. I think on these days, right? So Black Friday is just Prime Day in person, I believe, when it
Right,
comes to those retail stores.
right.
So whenever I'm buying anything, I don't buy until Prime Day, Black Friday, or whatever,
Hmm.
because I just got a pair of Beats. Like I was talking about the Beats, and I got them 50% off.
Right.
And I just checked it like a couple days after like Black Friday, and it was full price. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna big purchases like that. If
Wait,
you
so
want
when
to
you
see,
bought those beasts, it was intended. It was supposed to be a Black Friday deal.
it was a Cyber Monday deal, but it's the
Cyber
same
Monday,
deal on Black
okay.
Friday.
And so how much? And you didn't really pay any less than
I,
the retail.
no, I did. I paid 50% less. I think I got them for 169. They're
Okay, okay.
normally 350.
Yeah, like three something. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And that
So
was on
things like
Amazon?
that.
Where was that? I'm sorry.
I bought it off Amazon. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
So things like that are the deals that you want to look for on these Black Fridays. But I wouldn't buy things like that retail price right away. You wait
Right.
until Black Friday, Cyber Monday, or Prime Day, because even NBA 2K and
Mm-hmm.
Madden, I waited. I bought them 50% off on Black Friday.
Right. Yeah.
Plus, they say the sales go on 2 weeks prior, which many people don't know about.
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
they do.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely saw because that's what I was saying. I was gonna say as well. Like even prior to Black Friday, a week or so, the sales they were like calling them Black Friday sales, and it was like 2 weeks before Black Friday, and they just basically carried the same sale all the way up until Monday, Cyber Monday. You get what I'm saying? Like so.
But the one company that needs to catch this fade for real is Target, bro.
Target was wilding. They was straight up lying.
Target was
They made
on,
fake ads and everything. Like,
bro. I went to Target the day after Cyber Monday, and every like the toy aisle,
yeah,
everything on the toy aisle, on the specific toy, it's called Fail Shorts. I forgot what the name of the toy company is, was actually on sale the couple days after Black Friday. It was like I think it was like a day or two after Cyber Monday. All the toys were on sale. On Black Friday, they were not on sale. It was just like a buy one, get one 50% off. I went there a couple days after Black Friday or Cyber Monday. They were actually on sale. So I'm like, yo, what kind of game art is Target playing?
Target, I think, is trying to catch up. You know, like in certain places, like I think, particularly like New York, Target is more popular than Walmart is. You know what I mean? But
Got
Walmart,
you.
I think, is like still a lot more dominant in like the South and like certain places or in general. So I think Target be trying to fake being like the shadow of Walmart, but really it's not.
They
But
was
yeah,
finessing heavy, man.
yeah,
I don't know if you seen the picture where the girl had the Black
yeah,
Friday
yeah,
sale
yeah.
sign and then the normal sale sign. It was the same
Right, yeah,
price.
same price, yeah, yeah.
Come on, son.
But then again, I feel like some people it probably works on. You know what I'm saying? Because people just hear the word sale and they're like, "Oh, I gotta buy because it's a
Yeah.
sale." You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's why they make sure they always try to kind of like portray it as this big sale or that you're gonna save so much money, but you're really not saving that much money, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
It's gonna mess the retail business up if it's not already messed up, man. Amazon is killing the game. That's what I feel like. Amazon is the reason why Black Friday and Cyber Monday aren't really as hitting as it used to be,
Right,
because Amazon does Prime Day throughout the year.
right.
Them tablets go on sale. I would never buy a tablet full price, bro. Them Amazon tablets, I would
Oh
never
yeah,
buy it full price
yeah,
because on Prime Day they go 50% off. Black Friday 50% off. All these it'll be random 50% off.
yeah. It was crazy, man. Definitely Amazon right now seems like they're the heavy hitter as far as
Heavy
just
hitter.
not even just Black Friday, but throughout the year dealings because even stuff that I didn't really shop or buy nothing on Black Friday, but I always keep, like everybody I always keep items in my Amazon cart. And
Yeah.
I went and looked at them on Black Friday. They was like the whole cart was like 50% off of what you
Yo.
know what I'm saying? Like seriously, like literally 50%. Most of the items in my cart were cut to. And I was like, damn,
Yeah,
so
nah, they're killing the game, man. They're killing the
yeah,
game. It's especially with what they say. They're beating out UPS for delivery, like a delivery
word,
service.
I believe
They're
them because
beating out UPS.
they be swinging them splinters around. I be
Them
seeing
boys be
be open.
slanging, boy.
They don't even close them no more. They just keep them open because they got to keep
just,
stopping.
just
Yo,
back
I
and
love
forth.
Amazon,
You could do overnight delivery. I'm hearing Amazon knocking at the door at 4 o'clock in the morning, dropping packages off. Like
yeah,
they're
especially
killing the game.
if you live close to what they call a fulfillment center. Like when I remember, like whenever I'm out there in Palm Beach, because there's that new fulfillment center. I think like right there on like on Southern or whatever.
Mhm.
Um, when I would be out there in Palm Beach, say I would order something on Amazon on Thursday, even Thursday afternoon by 12, 1, it would be at the crib by the next morning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
they don't
literally
mess
by the
around.
next morning, they do not mess around. Like, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to Amazon, man. And I guess we'll see what happens next year with Black Friday. But yeah, like I said, I feel like it's becoming not so much of a thing. Moving on, man. Let's talk about it. We're gonna talk about Grand Theft Auto, bro. Finally, all the game
Ooh.
heads. Grand Theft Auto 6.
Ooh.
Rockstar has finally officially announced it on December. What is it? I think they said the 3rd. I should put up the picture in a minute, but they're gonna release the first official trailer for Grand Theft Auto 6, man. So I definitely have a lot of questions. First, let me ask you this: like, do you think it's too late? Well, I guess it's never too late for Grand Theft Auto, right? But do you think
Yes,
that
sir.
we've waited so long? It's been Grand Theft Auto 5 came out in 2015, if I'm not mistaken, right? So we're
Mhm.
talking now almost a decade. Because even by the time the game comes out, which I think is going to be so obviously sometime in 2024, we're talking now 9 years uh since the last Grand Theft Auto. And if you go look online, people are still playing online strong.
Still
So
playing. That's crazy.
crazy,
That's
crazy.
wild.
Like
I'm
wow.
talking. We're talking like I think Grand Theft Auto 5 came out a year or two after I graduated high school.
Yeah, it was like 2000. Yeah, like
Yeah,
13. No, 13. Yeah, it was
20 yeah,
13.
2013. And
2013.
they're still
Says
playing Grand Theft Auto to this day. I
yeah.
think Grand Theft Auto knew what's up. They knew, okay, we have time to make this money. We have time to just collect off of this last game. We still, because they probably were still making a lot of money every single year off of Grand Theft Auto 5. I'm not sure how they make money. I think maybe virtual purchases or whatever it is.
Oh yeah. And people
Because
just
I didn't really
people being on the server is gonna get them traffic and money.
got you,
You know what I'm saying?
got you exactly. So they knew what's up, and they probably were like, for Grand Theft Auto 6, we can't come, we can't come light. They gotta come with a bang. It gotta be a game changer. You know what I
Speaking of
mean?
which, all right. So you tell me what they need to do in this game for it to be worth not only the money, which I'm sure is going to be at least $70 to $80 for this one, but worth the time that we waited from the last one to this one. What do you have to see in this game for you to be like, all right, it was worth it?
Bro, I gotta see everything. That thing gotta feel like real life. Like when you play that thing, I gotta feel like I'm in there because you know that nostalgic feeling when we played Grand
Yeah,
Theft Auto back in the day.
right, right,
Like it gave you that feeling,
right.
like yo, this is fire. So they gotta really make it to where you're able to do damn near everything in Grand Theft Auto 6.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
supposedly that's what they're aiming for. They said it's
right.
gonna be a changer for the gaming industry.
Yeah, that's what
It's
they
gonna
say.
be a game changer.
Which it is. And in their defense, I would say at least since Grand Theft Auto Vice City, every single time they've dropped a Grand Theft Auto title, it's been a game changer as far as like open world video gaming. And usually the years that follow is just other games trying to replicate in some type of way or copy it. You get what I'm saying? And try to do what they did. So I don't know. We saw a couple months ago a hacker kid in England. I believe the kid was like 18 or 19 years old. He was able to hack Rockstar Systems, and he released a lot of footage,
Mhm.
gameplay footage, even of the game. We saw the main characters. We saw that you're finally going to be able to play with a woman as the main character, and it looks like it's like a couple somewhere in South Florida. Uh,
Yeah,
there's like a Bonnie and Clyde kind of vibe from what we were seeing. So I think that is kind of exciting that just like with the last Grand Theft Auto, they added the new option that you were able to play with three different characters. I guess now, you can play with a couple, which is obviously going to be a different experience. And I saw a
yeah,
lot of things. I saw that you could kind of go get food and feed yourself again, like how you could in San Andreas. And I saw that you could literally like hold up stores and restaurants and stuff like that. And obviously, the regular missions. But just like everybody else, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the trailer that's supposed to come in. I guess it says the third. Is that what it says? Oh, the fifth.
uh, the fifth.
Tuesday. So that means it's less than a week, right? Less than a week away. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
think that's less than a
it's-
week away. That's exciting, man. That's exciting because it's been something I've been waiting for ever since, let's say, like a year or two after Grand Theft Auto 5 came out.
right.
I was like, all right, I'm ready for Grand Theft Auto 6. Me, I was ready because,
Yeah.
like Chris, it's funny. Infinite Media Play says I've never beat a GTA game before. How would y'all rank your favorites? But I think the
That's a
I
good
went back. I went back and beat Grand Theft Auto. What was it? 5 recently.
Yeah,
Not like probably like 2 years ago or
yeah,
2 or 3 years ago. I went back and actually beat the game. I didn't beat the game when I first had it.
yeah. Me neither.
So
Yeah, me
there's,
neither.
there's a lot of them I didn't necessarily beat. I don't think I beat much of them, to
I
be
beat
honest.
all of them from what I
Did
remember.
you
I
beat
mean,
all of them?
yeah, like I definitely beat we definitely beat San Andreas. Definitely
Oh,
beat
I'm tripping. I don't think I beat Grand Theft Auto 5 yet. It was San Andreas that I went back and beat a couple years
oh
ago.
no, I beat five because when I first when five came out, honestly, like Infinite said, I wasn't really concerned with beating it. I was just like trying to do the just like do the
Yeah,
wild
yeah.
stuff. And I went back probably about a year or two ago. I got an Xbox and I downloaded it and I actually played the missions. And I obviously thought like by the end of it, I was kind of like, damn, it was kind of like disappointing. Like I feel like I wasn't satisfied. Like I wanted more out of the story or more out of the game. But if I had to say my favorite, man, to be honest, I would say okay. So because to me personally, Grand Theft Auto 4, because it's the only one that truly like takes place in like of not New York City but Liberty City.
Mhm.
To this day, I think it's the most authentic as far as like being on the street and how it relates to the place it takes it's supposed to be. If that makes sense, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Like,
because
it kinda
obviously
replicates New York a lot.
yeah, like really well. Right. So for me, although the character now, like Nico, the main character, was far from my favorite Grand Theft Auto character to be playing with. So that's why it's hard to say, like, okay, that one would be my favorite. Because obviously, like San Andreas, I just liked playing with CJ and that
CJ
whole environment and all that. I feel like that was the
on
most
fire.
fun. Yeah. And that's what's the thing about Grand Theft Auto games. Like, I think they could be ranked differently, like which one was the most fun, which one was the most which one had the better story, which
Yeah.
one had better gameplay. You know what I mean? Because like I said, while in five, I like the fact that you can switch between three very different players, and I think it gets a lot more repetitive than the other games for some reason. I don't know why, but it definitely five was
Which
not my
one?
favorite. The most recent five, I think five is the best. Like as far as like the logistics and like playing and gameplay and having options and the graphics, obviously that one's gonna be the best. But I don't know. I'd have to say San Andreas is my favorite, bro. To this day, I would say San Andreas.
San Andreas pretty much is my favorite. I would go San Andreas is my favorite,
Vice
and
City's
then
cool too. Vice City is, they
Vice
have
City is the most nostalgic to
yeah,
me
yeah, like the most
because
nostalgic.
that's the real because what Vice City is technically what number is Vice City? That's technically is that
Four.
3, 4?
Well,
No,
no,
no, no, because 4 is Liberty
technically,
City.
yeah, technically, I guess
I think
Vice
it's
City
2.
is a thing of its own. No, because remember, Grand Theft Auto 3, which also took place in Liberty City, and you're playing with, you're not,
There you go. That's I
yeah,
remember Grand Theft Auto 3.
Grand Theft
That
Auto
came
3.
after Vice City, right?
No, Grand Theft Auto 3 is before Vice City. That was the one
There
that
we go.
kind
There we
of
go.
got the series really popular because that was the first one that was like an open world video
There
game.
we go. So I
And
remember
then
playing Grand Theft
Vice
Auto
City.
3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and three I would say is the most. Three is also very nostalgic because that was the first one that I played as a kid. That was like, okay, this is really like different. Um, but Vice City I think is the most memorable that everyone can like
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
remember like cutscenes, lines from it, and remember like the story and stuff, and
Vice
like
City is the
certain
most
missions.
nostalgic to me,
Yeah,
but
like
it's not the best. I feel like San Andreas to me was the best
yeah,
because
yeah,
San Andreas is the one where like they pretty much gave you a bit of everything. Like
yeah. And
people
the
use it play
story was so
basketball,
crazy.
lift
Yeah,
weights.
yeah, yeah. Like
The
that's
store
what
was
I'm saying.
crazy.
San Andreas was like the only one that I think was fun, even if you weren't doing the main storyline or if you wasn't just
Yeah,
shooting people. Like you get what I'm saying? Like San Andreas, you'd be okay. I need to go to the gym. And I remember like CJ would get like fat, and if he was fat, you'd have to like go work out and
or
stuff like
go
that. Like,
run, work out and stuff like that. Yeah, it was dope. That was nostalgic too. So I'm gonna go San Andreas. I'm gonna go after that. I'm gonna go Grand Theft Auto 5. Then I'm gonna go Vice City, and then I think Liberty City, it was dope, but I feel like it wasn't memorable enough for me.
yeah,
You know
no,
what I
no,
mean?
no, no.
Maybe I didn't play it as I don't know, but it just wasn't as memorable enough for me.
Yeah, no, no, for real. Yeah.
But I used to play Grand Theft Auto on the Nintendo. The
Where when it was like
Yeah,
the top down view, like when it was like a car.
yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
used to play that.
Yeah, that was on a little Game Boy.
Game Boy, sorry, yeah, the Game
That was
Boy,
Game
Nintendo
Boy.
Game Boy.
Yeah, yeah. And that's that's how it started. And they went to actually once it got on the
Mhm.
PlayStation is when they made it that whole open world with Grand Theft Auto 3. Um, but yeah, definitely looking forward to it. We're gonna see. But again, and what I'm really looking forward to seeing is how much this thing sells. I feel like this is
Yeah,
gonna be one of the only games of recent where people are literally going to be like lined up even to get physical copies. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like this is going to be.
Check this out. I got a question. I got a question for you. I don't know. I don't know yet. This is like an advice question. I know you don't got kids, but maybe you can give the advice. Because I mean, what I don't remember how old we were when we started playing Grand Theft Auto, but I was talking to Rachel. I'm like, y'all might get Grand Theft Auto. I don't know. I might have Troy play it. I don't know.
I mean, I feel like was I his age the first time I played?
I think we were his age when we was playing Grand Theft Auto.
Maybe like the first time, yeah. But you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like those times
it's a little more advanced.
Yeah,
it's a little more advanced now, bro.
Like, I think it's a little more advanced, but yeah. Infinite was saying how old is Troy now?
He's 7 now. He's 7.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I think that's how old that I was. I don't think I was 7. I was probably like 8 the first
7,
time I
8.
played Grand Theft Auto 3. And like it wasn't mine. I was at a cousin. We were in England at my cousin England's house, and they were playing it. And that was the first time I really like got put onto it and was like, oh wow. And then I would say then, because even like I remember even in high school when I had to go buy Grand Theft Auto 4, I had to buy it like on the low because I wasn't even technically old enough to buy it. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like 16 or something, or 17 when that came out. So I would say Grand Theft Auto 4 was the first Grand Theft Auto game I actually like bought and played myself. And I was
like, no, 10 at least.
I would say at least 10. Because especially a Grand Theft Auto game, you don't know what's gonna happen. There's some scenes and stuff where you're like, whoa, like, you know what I mean? Like, because even in 5, when I was playing it recently, I was like, damn, there's a lot of stuff in here that's kind of like crazy, but
crazy stuff. I think I was 8 too when I first played it. It was John. John had got it.
Yeah, he had a copy. He had like Vice City,
or he had Vice City. That's when I first played Vice City. My grandma didn't want me to play that. She didn't want to get it for me. So I used to sneak in John's room and go watch him play some Vice City. I'm like, yo, let me get on the sticks real quick.
And that's the thing. It's one of those games that like even when you're a kid, it's like you gravitate to it because it's so edgy and so like bad. Like you want to.
Yeah, Infinite said don't get a girl in the car and park in the bushes. They was doing that in Vice City too.
Yeah, Vice City.
But it was a little less graphic.
Right.
I remember you used to just park and the girl used to come in and the car they made it way more graphic in San Andreas. San Andreas was OD.
San Andreas was OD. San Andreas, I think, was the most vile out of all these games as far as like content stuff. 4 was kind of bad too with the New York City stuff, but it was really bad. But yeah, we're gonna keep an eye on that. We go next week when we come talk again. Obviously, it's gonna be after we see the trailer, so we can have a whole conversation about the trailer and what we're gonna expect and what to not expect. So we'll definitely keep up with that. Moving on, let's talk about 3 Stacks, man. 3 Stacks. There's a lot of music stuff going on. I was gonna touch on the Grammy stuff today, but maybe we'll just touch on it a little bit and talk about it more the next show. But I really want to talk about Andre 3000 and this transition that he has that he's gone into, which I wouldn't even say so much has been like a transition, because he's been obviously for many years he hasn't been very musically inclined to make rap music. He's been more so on other instruments and stuff like that, or he'll pop up on a verse every now and then, like we saw on the Killer Mike album. But so first, like, what are your thoughts on this? Because before the album dropped, I saw, a lot of people saw Andre 3000 was dropping an album, and some people, even up until it released, didn't really want to believe that it was going to be straight up just a instrumental flute album.
Yeah.
But that's what we got. And the funny thing is, which I think is the kicker about this, is that this is technically his first solo album. Because you gotta remember,
that's crazy.
Love Below and Speaker Box was technically an Outkast album, although it was a double album with both of them. So this is technically Andre 3000's debut studio album. So, which is crazy. I listened to it and I thought it was great. Like, as far as, especially, it is what it's supposed to be. And I think obviously he's gonna make good music regardless, because he's more of a musician than just a rapper. But what do you think? What was your take on it when you heard that he was dropping this?
I think it's very innovative. It is innovative for rappers.
For a rapper, for a legendary rapper.
It's innovative. And it's actually smart. I'm gonna tell you why I believe it's smart, because I guarantee you that more down the line, and I've been saying this, it's gonna be a lot more celebrated down the line than it's celebrated right now. I have a feeling that a lot of his I don't know if you want to call it wins or whatever it is, because I know he said it's a wind album, flute album, whatever. So all of the melodies of the music that he made that's on the album, a lot of them's probably gonna be in movies and
Right, right,
in
right,
plays and things like that. And he's gonna get royalties for all of that.
right,
A lot of production companies, they use rap music here and there, but when it comes to these legendary sounds, a lot of times it's just solo sounds, pianos. That's you
yeah,
have what Beethoven or whatever.
right,
Um, you have those sounds. I feel like this could be that in the future. You're gonna hear a lot of sounds. If not this album, maybe another one if he puts another one out or whatever. I
right.
feel like it'll get to that point where he has these classical sounds that are in movies, that are in television shows and things like that. I believe that's where that's gonna go. He probably started a trend where more people are gonna do the same thing.
You think
I
so? Can you see if there was a other rapper that you could see doing this or something like this, who would it be?
it's probably gonna be older rappers, but I don't necessarily think rappers will do it.
Mm.
Just more artists. It's gonna start being celebrated a little more. It's gonna start
You mean like
being
it's gonna be more celebrated to not necessarily do like to do something outside of the box of rap?
yeah,
It's gonna
yeah.
be okay.
He started some because he's so legendary when it comes to rap, and he put this out, and people are like, oh, a flute album. Because before he put the flute album out, that wasn't even on my radar. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? And I'm pretty sure other flute albums have been put out just probably by other people who just are less known or whatever, and
right,
things like that. So it's gonna kind of put things like this on the radar.
right, right. Now I saw him do an interview. I don't remember what syndication it was, but he did an interview on the day before, the day of that the album was released. And the interviewer was kind of just asking him, like, why this? Why not a rap album? And he was
Mhm.
kind of saying, like, he he was saying like one of the things that he said was that obviously this is just like what his spirit wanted to do. Like he claims that he intended it on it originally being a rap album or an album with lyrics, but it just didn't play out that way, which is understandable. But then he also said that he kind of was basically saying like, oh, at the age I am and the things that I do on a daily basis, like nobody wants to hear me rap about those things. Like, you know what I mean? Like, like, you know what I mean? And then a lot of people in the comments, people that were kind of upset that he wasn't making a rap album, was saying like, oh, as an icon or as a legend, that's not an excuse. Like, you supposed to be the one to start that trend. You're supposed to be able to rap about whatever it is that you do, and then other people will follow or stuff like that. How do you feel about that? Like, I guess the better way to like put down the question is: do you think that rappers or musicians in general, once they become iconic or legendary, do they owe like? Do you think that they're supposed to think of things that way? Like, okay, I'm supposed to be a trendsetter. I'm supposed to, or
Yeah.
do you think like that?
With that, I feel like both sides are right. The fans are right to where he could still get creative and he could have something to rap about, right?
Right,
I don't think like if he's holding back because he feels like nobody's gonna want to hear what he does on a daily basis, I feel like that's a wrong reason to hold that back, right?
right, right,
But on the other hand, if he just felt like, yo, this is like really what I want to do, I feel like it'll be dope. This flute album, boom, boom, boom. And
right.
that was just his excuse to kind of be like, just tell the people, hey, I don't think you want to hear what I want to do on a daily basis, but I want to do this flute album. Um, I feel like the flute album for him is a good idea to just be innovative. Like he said, I seen the interview. He said he's a creator. He just wants to really just create, and he felt like the flute was a good thing to do when it comes to his creation.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
yeah, I like the idea. You know what I mean? Jump out that box. Don't be afraid to get innovative. Don't be afraid to jump out that box. I mean, if sales are low and nothing happens out of it, who knows? He could create a
Yeah,
rap
too. Like,
album
and that's
a
another thing. Like, that's
month later.
obviously somebody like Andre 3000. Ain't sales and money ain't a concern of his.
Yeah,
He's already very like he's certified, as they would say. So like,
exactly,
you don't need to really sell anything or prove nothing. So I get
exactly.
that. Like Legier said, yes, it's very hard to satisfy everyone. You're
Oh yeah,
not
yeah. You're not gonna satisfy everybody.
especially not the people especially not people that want you to do a very specific thing, and then
Yeah,
you're not, do it because, but I can obviously, and to act like he don't rap at all is ridiculous. Because like I said,
yeah.
obviously
He's
throughout
a
the years,
mad teacher.
yeah, he sprinkled verses here and there on different things, and they're really good. I feel like they're really good verses, and um, yeah, like
I like that question with maybe Kanye, someone more on the producer
yeah,
side.
I feel like yeah,
So
somebody, yeah, yeah,
I could see a lot of people with, the musical talent, producers, I could see them doing more things like this. It's not necessarily, I don't see it necessarily being the flute. Maybe
Yeah,
Kanye is gonna jump on the keys and make dope just music in general, not really rapping on it.
right.
I could see stuff like that happening a lot more often. And maybe like voices, choirs or whatever, just kind of just being real creative. I could see that happening a lot more. And Andre 3000 kind of being the start of it.
Right, right. Yeah. I mean, it is weird to say because we live in a day and age where everybody wants to be a rapper and put out rap music. So, honestly, like I can't imagine a specific artist right now that would go the same route and try to do something like this. Um, Mostly because I don't think there's a lot of other artists who could do it and get away with it, so to speak. If that makes sense, because I
Yeah.
feel like right now a lot of artists, even the older ones or the iconic ones, are very concerned about their image and like what they're releasing and stuff like that. So
It's funny that this happened right after, I think it's a few weeks after Jay-Z kind of said the same thing, where he's like, yeah, I don't have another album. There's not much that I can really rap about. He said
yeah,
that like literally that exact same thing. So I think that's
I don't believe Jay Z though. I feel like Jay Z, he gonna
you, you
give
feel
me
like
the
he has an album ready?
yeah, maybe not ready, but I feel like nigga like him, he always gonna find some reason to put something out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Whether people want it or not, he's gonna find some way. He's one of those
That's
people.
true.
Um, but yeah, and I mean, like I said, I listened to the album itself. I believe it's called New Blue Sun or something like that. New Blue Moon or
Something
something.
like that. I didn't listen to the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean,
Listened to some of it.
it's a flute album. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
it's one of those vibes. I believe it's one of those vibes. Like I
yeah,
said, you're not gonna sit there, maybe like to concentrate. It's funny because me and Rachel was just having to talk about uh classical music and things like that back in the days, and we was like, yo, what made people gravitate towards this music like that? Like, and they had to be super creative back then to really just come up with them keys. It was
right,
like when you get real deep with it,
right,
you got to be real creative to come up with them keys and for it to just sound good to people,
right.
right?
You have to like know music obviously and study it.
Yeah, yeah. And the funny thing is, like back then, like if you're the start of that piano's tone, it's kind of like you're the start of it. So with stuff like that, I feel like they came with the energy of like a lot of concentration, a lot of relaxation. So I feel like that's where this flute album really comes from, that concentration vibe, that sit down and relax vibe, that where you're supposed to put it on and kind of getting your thoughts and all that. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's one of the things that you're supposed to consume on the daily, just to consume it and bang your head type deal.
Yeah, yeah. And there's a lot of artists. There's a lot of artists right now, particularly rappers who've been around for a while that are dropping new projects. But again, it's like it seems like there's a specific format, and if it's not that way, then you labels don't want to put money into it. Because for example, Busta Rhymes, whether
Mhm.
people not Busta Rhymes just dropped the album like last week or something. I believe it's called Blockbuster or something.
Yeah,
And it's it's Busta Rhymes is just as old as an artist as Andre 3000 is, but obviously at a very different point in his career as far as material and what he's willing to release. Because if you look at his track list, it's collaborations with all the new artists, like kids. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like,
yeah,
so it's kind of it's sad to see in a way that artists like Busta Rhymes, in order for them to drop an album these days and for it to get any kind of attention, that it has to be filled with, it has to have that kind of stamp or that touch of today's era on it. And I think stuff like that is probably what Andre 3000 tries to avoid. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
I don't think he has anything in particular against any young artists, but he probably doesn't want to feel like I don't want to feel like I have to go make music with people in order for it to be accepted or for it to be produced. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah,
um,
yes, that's right, because I ain't really checking for Busta Rhymes album to be real, but I actually checked for Andre 3000's album. Although I didn't listen to the full thing, but I
right,
was checking on it and people talking about it. So
right.
he's doing something right to that extent.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, we definitely gonna keep up with that too and see what happens. Hopefully. Because I would like to see Andre 3000 drop, like one more album, at least some
Yeah,
gems
yeah.
like
I think everybody would want to see that, and I feel like he would be dope at, like, it would be
yeah, it would
dope.
be really dope. Particularly if I think if he aimed it a certain way, and he went into the production a lot. I feel like it would be worth the listen. But moving on, man. Let's talk about some other artists. Talk about Young Thug, man. Young Thug's situation seems to be getting darker and darker. But then again, full warning to anybody out there who's obviously more familiar with the law or legal stuff than me. Maybe I'm just looking from the outside, looking at it. You get what I'm saying? But the trial is fully underway. Young Thug's trial is going on. There's a lot of media coverage on it. This trial seems almost like bizarre, like it's not even real. Recently, one of the most recent things that went down is that somehow the camera accidentally showed the
The
jury,
Jews.
which it's
That's
like,
insane.
how does that even happen? Which a lot of these things might work out in Thug's favor as far as like a mistrial or put whatever. But my interest right now, what I find extremely interesting, is the way that his lawyers are handling or trying to counter
Yeah,
the
yeah.
prosecutions.
So like the most obvious lies out there, but it
Yeah,
could it could work. You know what I'm saying?
I don't
What
know,
is
man. Because like these, I feel like lies
truly
could
humble under
work,
God?
but some of
You
these
see
things
that
are
one?
a stretch, man. Some of them are really a stretch.
Thug means truly humble under God,
Really humbled
apparently.
under God. Because to me, it's like, all right, bro. Like, obviously, whether you're familiar with Young Thug's music or not, or whether you listen to him or not, as someone in a jury, it's gonna be hard to believe after seeing all the evidence and pictures and photos and hearing the music of this guy that when he was thinking about his name, he was thinking about God, or that
Yeah,
he
yeah.
stands for. So in my opinion, I feel like saying stuff like this is more harmful than good, because the jury is just gonna be like, "What do you think, we're idiots?" You know what I'm saying? And that
That's what I'm thinking.
you know what I
That's what
mean?
I'm thinking. But I mean, I don't know how it works. Could they are they able even to think like that? Wouldn't it be like a bias type deal? I don't know.
I mean, if you, I
When
mean,
it comes to the court, because the court gets tricky in those aspects. You know what I
right,
mean? Because
at the end of
be,
the jury, they gonna think what they think. So it's like,
yeah, yeah,
if I'm in a jury, I'm gonna be like, nigga, you really think I'm gonna sit here and believe that Thug? Come with something else. Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't let that be what you lead with. That Thug stands for truly humbled under God. Like, come on, bro. Like,
yeah.
they read out all his lyrics, even the lyrics to take it to trial, which is,
Hmm.
those lyrics are not lyrics you want to pop up in a trial, coincidentally. And I just don't know. I just feel like after all of that, the jury, from what they've seen of his history, his music, how he presents himself, I don't know, man. I don't think this is looking good. I don't think this is looking good at all. And we have to remember, almost or more than half of all his co-defendants have taken a plea and
Yeah.
stated openly that this was a gang, and that participated in gang activity. So I just don't, I don't know. I don't see how his lawyers are gonna fight against this, or how they're gonna make it look good.
Yeah, I think the only way they could do it is just go up there and just tell blatant lies like that with bold faces. That's the only that I think that's his attack.
Okay,
Like
but that's what I'm saying.
everything
So
we're
you
just
see
gonna
how
tell a blatant lie about.
you see how you said it's a blatant lie. You obviously know
Yeah.
it's a blatant lie. Don't you think the jury would know the same? That's what I said, and that's obviously not gonna help. Like, the only way I feel like, okay, like if I was in the jury, right, and I'm just being 100% honest, if I was in the jury, because I'm a Young Thug fan and I wouldn't want to see anything happen to Young Thug, I wouldn't care what happened. I'd be like, I'm not voting for him to get locked up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless the jury is full of people like that, I don't see him winning this. I just don't, and I don't think the jury is full of people like that. Maybe there's 2 or 3 guys in there with that mindset, but anybody who's not thinking, "Oh, I'm a fan of Thug and I don't want to see him go to prison," how could they vote to not send him under
And
these?
I also be wondering like how do they choose these juries, right?
They're random.
Because
Well, not
it'll be tough to be random, right? Because majority of the black community, I want to say, knows who Young Thug is, right?
yeah,
All right. A lot of the white community probably has an idea of him if they listen to rap music.
right.
Some don't. If you choose, because obviously the jury has to be mixed. It can't be all white, can't be
Yeah,
all black.
right.
If you choose half white, half black, and I feel like a lot of them is still gonna know who Young Thug is. Like,
Well, I mean,
so
yes, obviously. I don't think if there's the only person that in the jury of 13 people or 12 people that wouldn't know would probably be super old people. Like if they're over the
They
age of
probably chose a few super
60.
old people. Yeah, they probably chose a few super old people. I feel like honestly, in a case like this, dang, that's probably why choosing jury selection is kind of hard.
Because even
Because
think about our
if I'm
parents,
gonna
right?
choose it, yeah,
Our
yeah, go ahead.
parents ain't even that super old, and if they were on the jury, they wouldn't give a. They vote.
That's
They
true.
sent him to jail. You know what I'm saying? Like so, and they're not that old. So it's like, unless
But
the jury is full of people in their 40s and younger, I don't see this man getting off.
yeah, yeah, and that's what
He-
I'm thinking. I'm thinking the best jury for this is honestly anybody above 40. Because I just thought about it. I don't think my mom will really know who Young Thug is like that.
Not like that. She might have maybe they would have heard his name.
Yeah, probably heard his name because of the court case, but
Yeah, and
I don't
even
think
if so, say they even knew who he was because they whatever. I don't. They wouldn't be fans enough to not send him to jail with good
yeah,
evidence. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
they'd still want to see the evidence and review it, and if it looked how it looked, they'd be like send him to jail. So that's like thinking about that in his defense and him trying to go home. I just don't see it happening, man. Because I'm just like, and you're talking about the prosecution is up there literally reading lyrics to him saying F the judge, F play this in court, I don't care. It's
Mhm.
almost surreal. It's like,
Yeah, yeah.
how can we not send you to prison, bro?
Oh, there you go. I forgot about that one. Pushing positivity.
All that. It's like, come on, dog. Pushing positivity. And what's crazy is that the way court works, once you open even something that's not on the doc or the evidence doc, once either side opens it or mentions it, it is now that can be brought. Like we saw in the Johnny Depp trial, once Amber Heard mentioned who was it, Kate Moss, whatever that model was that was in Jamaica with Johnny Depp. Once she mentioned her name, Johnny's lawyers were able to call her in on Skype to give her point of the story, right?
Yeah,
So with them mentioning that pushing P stands for push and positivity, I'd assume the prosecutors could now bring up Gunna's
you got
pushing
Gunna.
P song and all the lyrics in that song, which not one lyric in there says that the P's
Positivity.
for positivity. He literally names every other thing except positivity. So I don't know. I feel like Young Thug's lawyers right now are just kind of like pulling at strings, as they would say. Like they don't really have that much as far as the defense. So they're just like, look, all right, we got to try to make him look as innocent as possible.
That's
And
what
it's
I'm saying.
hard. Young innocent.
That's what I'm saying. So they just got to go in there and just tell bold faced lies. I know the lawyer does not even believe himself, but
They say he don't believe that crap himself. He's like,
he just got to go in there and just tell bold faced lies, bro.
pushing positivity is crazy, man. Because it's like, and I mean, but and again, I like everybody else, I do not want to see Young Thug go to do no time because at the end of the day, I'm a firm believer that if he was involved in anything they're saying that he's involved in, the people he was doing it with were involved as well, and you know what you're getting into. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And I do agree to an extent that clearly the law sometimes targets people with privilege and money and stuff like that because Young Thug can't be the only dude in Atlanta doing this of what he's accused of doing,
Yeah,
and they seem to really be concerned with putting him behind bars. So I get from that aspect. But when you listen to this music and you're like, man, like what? Even like I'm listening to his songs the other day and he's saying all this stuff that is very incriminating. And I'm like, why? Why not just say this stuff to your homeboys? You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Like, because I get it. It's cool to brag about you getting away with stuff. But why in the music? Why you have to say it so explicitly in the music that can obviously be used against you? You know what I mean? It's hard to like defend that or make that look or justify it. You know what I'm saying? So
Probably thought he had so much power and money to where he would get away with it, but just like another individual that we're gonna talk about later,
mm,
it's always gonna come back. It's always gonna come back to haunt you.
always comes back to haunt you in some type of way, man. It's never good. But yeah, we're gonna keep up with Young Thug is obviously in the trial and see what happens. We'll see what happens. That's all I'm gonna say for now. But moving on, let's talk about real quick. Let's talk about this Ti and King situation with with his son, which I think is
Standing
hilarious.
on business.
Stand on business. So from what I've seen, well, that's not good. From what I've seen that what took place over the past couple of days, King and his son, Ti and his son King got into some sort of altercation at a football game that they were at I believe in Atlanta, uh, or was it a baseball? I don't know,
It
some
was
sort of
football.
sports.
The Atlanta Hawks.
They
I
don't
mean,
have,
sorry.
yeah,
Atlanta
Falcons?
Falcons.
Yeah, the Falcons game. They got in some sort of altercation because it seemed like King was on live or something, probably trying to talk about how he was raised, and Ti was trying to. Now all that happened, and it's not the first or the second time that we've seen King and Ti get into it about his upbringing or King in general in the social media. But then what really tripped me out is that the day or two after this happened is this whole media storm of stuff with Ti and him in the interviews, and it just really showed me that, like, okay, it seemed like all of this was just like a ruse that they set up to get some immediate attention because they knew they had like like that little interview vlog coming out, and Ti is always promoting some sort of something, some sort of product or something. And King, you know what I mean? But anyway, my question to you is though, do you think? And another thing that people keep saying is that, okay, that some people are saying is that it's possible that King knows something that we all don't know, that Ti and Tiny are hiding something, and that King keeps alluding to it, or that this is the reason why he's acting out or claiming this lifestyle that he wasn't raised is because he knows some dark secret. What do you think? Do you think that King is just a kid who we saw King, right? We saw
Mhm.
him raised, got how he was raised. They had a TV show just like Run's House. I forgot what theirs was called, like the Ti show or something.
Ti and Tiny.
Ti and Tiny and
Yeah,
Family Values, or wasn't it something like that?
yeah.
So we saw how this kid was raised. He clearly wasn't raised in the projects or in the hood or in any
Yeah,
kind of environment like that. From what we saw, maybe we
yeah.
didn't see everything. So what do you think about that as far as how he's acting now?
Um, I feel like like he's one of them privileged kids who, and we know a lot of them. He's one of those privileged kids who want to be known as a, I guess, like a struggle baby or whatever,
Yeah,
or wants to portray that struggle. What my joke with that whole situation is like, how are you having this conversation in a box suite at an
yeah, that's
expensive
what a lot of people would say.
football game? My man say, it's like, man, I was in a bando by Mama's house or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro.
But
There's
my thing is like, bro, let me let's like, okay, we all went to school with kids that were like probably, a little bit more. We were all, everybody has it worse than somebody else. Everybody has it better than
yeah,
somebody else. If you was a kid who 90% of your life you was raised in like a gated community or grew up with, in a mansion with butlers and stuff, I don't give a F if you went to the projects to go for a month or for 2 months or for a whole summer. At the end of the day, you went right back to the situation you
yeah.
was in. You can't, I don't, there's no situation in my mind that justifies you acting like you some top gangster now just because you might have went to go spend a couple days next to your grandma's house who lived next to a bando. Like, bro,
And I'm thinking about the bando, whatever bando this is that he's talking about. It's probably just some random spot that some mischievous kids probably went to go. Because I'm thinking
yeah,
Ti's what is it Ti's mom that he's talking about or Tiny's mom? Either one of their moms. I'm pretty sure they don't have them smack dab in the middle of the hood. They're not living.
because all that don't make sense. Because
That
even
don't make
with
any
that,
sense.
what really be tripping me out is rich kids who be acting like that, who's even their parents been rich for how long? Because look how long Ti been rich. Ti been rich
Yeah,
since like 2003 or 2004, from what
yeah,
we know, as far as
yeah.
musically rich. So it's like, bro, even Ti, like you said, why would he or Tiny have their moms living in the projects at this point?
Exactly. So none of that makes sense. I feel like the kid just wants to make a name for himself.
Like that.
Cool. There's a whole clip that came out of him saying he wants to make his own name. This is on the Ti family show that he
Right.
had, and he's crying, saying, "I just want to make a name for myself." I think he was trying to drop out of high school or drop out of something, and Ti's like, "Nah, you're not dropping out." Boom, boom, boom.
I think that becomes a thing itself where kids that and maybe we can't really speak because we didn't grow up super rich. Because in
Mhm.
my mind, I'm like, bro, I wish I grew up like that. So I wouldn't have to
That's
make
what
a
I'm
name for
saying.
myself. So I would just have money and I wouldn't have to work, you know what I'm saying? But it seems like a lot of people that grew up that way with that privilege are resentful of the fact that they grew up that way and they
It's
want
crazy. It's wild.
like,
Because I think of it in tiers, right? And like you said, there's a lot of people who have it worse than others. There's a lot of people, you know what I mean? You could really just say, oh, there's other people who have it worse than you, right?
right,
And sometimes, like, obviously, there's people that have it better than King, and there's
right,
people that have it worse than King. All
right.
right. Um, I lost my train of thought. 1 second. There you go. So pretty much, there's people who have it better and people who have it worse, right? I put it in tiers. I feel like, say, somebody like Ti, he got his son King. I feel like King, he should take where he's at instead of trying to go to the bottom and move up more and to the top. He don't have to. There's so much stuff he could tell about his story. I'm pretty sure he has a story still, even though he didn't come from the mean, crazy streets of Atlanta. He probably still has a story. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? That he could really build on and get to a higher level.
Right, but that
He has
falls
a head start. That's what I'm saying, pretty much.
right, exactly. He has a head start. He has a foot in the door. But again, this goes into like what we talked about, I think, before recently on here, and I saw Clay even posted about this on his Instagram a couple of days ago. Like, he was saying, like, even particularly within the black community or the rap community, it's kind of this thing where, because like you said, he should be going to the next level, right? He should be going up. For some reason, our community going up and being better is having some type of credibility as being a gangster. You get what I'm saying? Or doing hood gangster stuff. If you're the opposite of that, you're considered lower. Like, you're not as cool, or you're not. And I think that is the main problem.
Yeah, that's the issue.
The bigger issue is here that we need to examine is, why do kids like King, who grew up the way King grew up and don't gotta be like this, why do they feel so badly that they should? Why do they feel like, in order for them to be cool or feel accepted, that they that they got to do this, they have to portray this image like, oh yeah, I'm a street nigga, I'm a gangster, whatever. Like,
I'd be imagining, like, like you said, we didn't grow up super rich or whatever, right?
Right.
But imagine us saying to our parents, yo, I want to send me back to Jamaica. Send me to Jamaica right now. I want to be in the street. What?
like I came here and did what I did, so I don't have to live like that. Why would you want to go back there to do that? Like, I just, it does not make sense.
Let me redo this. I'm gonna redo this, man. I stand on business. Like, come on, bro, for real.
But you don't have to, dog. Like, that's the whole point of all of this, is that you can just not, because let's not forget, this man has brothers and sisters who also grew up like him. They're just, I'm assuming, just living their lives as kids. Like,
I think the other ones make music as well. Like,
I know his brother.
One of T.I.'s sons is pretty talented with the
guitar. Yeah, him. They just dropped a song yesterday or the day before.
And he went viral a couple months back. That's how I found out he do the guitar. So it's like,
yeah, and I feel like, bro, it's like, man,
King's tripping. He's tripping, bro. So,
but
I don't know.
Family is like, it's like it's a weird thing, because, like I said, I feel like a lot of people are resentful of being, depending on how it came out, they're resentful of being close or being a close family member to someone that really blew up or someone that had a lot of money. I was watching, there's some show coming out soon with, like, I don't know, it looks like some sort of like celebrity therapy or something like that. And it was like Dame Dash on the couch with his brothers. I didn't even know Dame Dash had two brothers that even like look like him, but he's got two blood brothers, who he's estranged from, or they're beefing. And him and his brother on the couch, like, arguing, go back and forth. And the therapist is like, oh, why? Or the people are like, why y'all beefing anyway? Like, what happened? Like, what's one of the reasons y'all got problems? And his brother is like, yo, I'm an actor, or I'm a trying actor. I've been an actor for however much years. Ask Dame how much of his movies has he put me in? And Dame is like, D's like, I don't give a shit. Like, yeah, I have none. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, while I can understand Dame being like, I shouldn't have to just put you in my movie because you're my brother, I could also understand a brother being upset, like, bro, you have all this money and influence, you make movies, you didn't even give me a chance. You couldn't even just like attempt to put me in one or tell me what I got to do to be in one. So, I feel like there's a lot of resentment there with families and stuff, that where somebody was, even with kids. Because
Coi Leray as well, the same, it's real similar with Coi Leray.
She tried to do the same thing, because she keeps, and I'm not even going front. In her situation, I never liked Benzino. I never liked this man from day one. But I'm not gonna lie to you, I kind of believe him in this situation. I feel like, why would Benzino have his daughter growing up when he's been rich since I was a kid? Benzino's been rich since I was like 6. So and Coi Leray, if I'm not mistaken, is younger than me. So why would Benzino have her growing up that way? And furthermore, with these kids that are acting like this, if Benzino really had you growing up some type of way like that, how did you get so successful now? Because it seems like, while I don't think Benzino helped her get where she's at, she clearly had some sort of foot in the door, new people,
connections.
in the industry. Yeah, she had connections. So your parents, even if y'all parents didn't directly help you, they helped you. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
that you don't got
yeah.
to be living like the rest of us right now. So why can't y'all just like be appreciative of that and just be like, okay, let me just run with that instead of constantly trying to prove, oh, I did this by myself. I stand on business. My parents, they ain't
It's
like,
crazy. The Coi Leray one is crazy too, because I mean she was trying to say something how she was homeless, living in cars with her mom. And
what?
although like I could I could say with those stories is there's probably a possibility of slight trueness in it, because her mom is like a, a baby mama to Benzizo type deal.
Right,
I
right.
guarantee easily, or the next day or the next week after or whatever, Coi Leray was back in her mansion with her
Right.
dad whenever she was with Benzino. So it wasn't one of them situations where she was, dirt broke, poor,
Not
living
at
in a
all.
car and could, you know what I'm saying?
They portray it that way, and that's what I don't like. Is like I'm like y'all. I was homeless too. It's like, come on, dog. Like you really wasn't. Northwest already complaining about Kim being a bad mom because there is too many nannies and chefs. I mean, I mean, but that too. Like I understand that aspect of like, or I understand it. Or I understand that like if you grow, you're like, man, why am I so rich? Why like it sounds crazy, but I guess
Send me back. Send me to the hood.
word. Like, why
We
I got
stand
all
on
these
business.
nannies and chefs? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know. I'd assume, but from what I saw with the Northwest situation, clearly from what they're saying, when she visits her dad, it's a different vibe. But I'm also sure Kanye West's house is not exactly difficult either.
Mhm.
So these kids is gonna be how they is. You know,
They like to wealthy, privileged people like to glamorize the struggle until they actually experience it. Struggle
that's
is on.
it's
You
aesthetic.
know what? And
It's
and
true.
and my thing with that take is, yo, everybody has different struggles, bro. I know wealthy people, they have their
Yeah,
own struggles.
that we
You know
probably
what I'm saying?
wouldn't want to deal with neither. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
yeah. So if I feel like they can own in on it. They can, if
channel
they
it
were
in some
ever to,
type of way, like.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's crazy. I watched the
But
Kim.
everybody these days wants to be a victim and wants sympathy, and nobody wants to give sympathy to people that are rich because you can technically solve all your problems with money. Maybe not emotionally, but
Yeah,
it must be nicer crying in a mansion, as they say, as opposed to crying
crying in a Lambo.
in a Lambo than in the Honda. You know what I mean? So, but
I feel I feel like look, this the documentary on, speaking of the Kardashians, we just watched it the other day, Chris Jenner.
mm,
It's crazy how like that thing kind of motivated me. Like, because I was watching the documentary, and to see where she came from, although she was already rich, you know what I
right,
mean? But with her, they spoke about her passion and things like that,
right,
and just the kind of businesswoman she was and how she turned these situations. It was kind of like motivating to watch a documentary on somebody who was
right,
already
and
rich. They didn't have to do nothing.
that's different because for it exactly, which is a good point. Because like if I'm not mistaken, with Chris Jenner, before she got with
Bruce
with with
Jenner
with with,
or
with
the
no with Kim's dad,
mhm,
with Mr. Kardashian, Robert. She
mhm.
wasn't really like fake. She wasn't rich or nothing like that,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, 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 yeah.
So she obviously took that and was like, all right, cool with whatever he's doing. But regardless of how this goes, I'm gonna take this and mold it into my own thing and my own empire. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because there's a lot of families where after that man died, they would have just basically died with him, especially
Yeah,
financially. But she
exactly.
made sure that was not the case. That I respect. You get what I'm saying? And then that I respect. That's different. That's what I'm saying. Why people like King? Why you don't take the privilege and the influence from your dad
Exactly.
and build your own empire, and then that could be your story of like I just took the tools my dad gave me and built
Mhm.
my own thing. You get what I'm
Yeah,
saying? But
exactly. And then I'd be thinking like even when it comes, so Chris Jenner now comes down to Kim Kardashian. Now,
right.
when you think about it, Kim Kardashian, she was probably like a king. Like
Hmm.
she had it, she wasn't broke, but she had that passion. She knew where she wanted to be in life, and look where she's at now compared to then. She just hopped to that next level. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? So, and it was actually motivating to see that documentary. So, if people like King and stuff like that decide, hey, I want to move forward instead of backwards,
Hmm.
who knows where they could be in the future?
And when you get to a certain point, people don't care about your like your origin story. They don't care like
Yeah,
what you came from. They just respect what you're doing now. You know what I'm saying? But
exactly.
again, this is a whole other conversation. But this is part of one of the many problems with the black community is that we get caught up in caring about things that don't really matter and caring about other people's opinions and attitudes about things that don't matter. And we use that to kind of mold how we act and our behavior and what we
That's
believe in.
facts.
That's very dumb. Um, but yeah, man. So shout out to King. We're gonna see what else goes down with that family and see what road. But again, like I feel like this is all publicity anyway, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's all gonna be
Um,
publicity. Don't be surprised if they drop another reality show.
yeah, exactly. That's what I really think is coming next. But moving on. We're gonna move on to the last subject before we get out of here. It's already been like an hour and 15, which is crazy, but we know we had a lot to talk about. So P. Diddy, man. Let's talk about P. Diddy.
Mister,
Oh
take that,
man.
take that.
Is P. Diddy the industry super villain? Oh boy, there's been a lot of revelations has come out in the past 2 weeks about Sean P. Diddy Combs. And for a lot of people, they've seen it. I know Rachel saw this coming from a mile away. Rachel said months ago
Yeah,
that
she did. She
he
brought
was
that up too when she seen everything.
like, and she was right. She was absolutely correct. There was something suspicious. So now obviously we heard about the whole Cassie situation, all that went down. That got resolved pretty quickly through money, which we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But first thing that I want to kind of talk about or touch on is like, what do you think of these accusations? First off, do you think any of them are true? Do you think this is a hit?
Bro,
Because like a lot of people are saying this is a Diddy hit. They trying to bring down Diddy. What do you think?
if this is a Diddy hit, it's
It's a
a
big hit.
well thought out,
It's a very
well planned out Diddy hit. Because if you go back and start watching interviews and things this dude says, and like really just eyeing how comfortable or uncomfortable people are around him,
start
like
adding
a
up, huh?
Justin Bieber, it starts to add up, bro. Why are you calling other grown men daddy in
Start adding
interviews, bro?
up, bro. Diddy has a very, very strange resume, man. Um, like I was, even with this situation, I think back to that night when he allegedly slapped Drake, and I was like, bro, like, how the hell how P. Diddy slapped Drake and nobody got footage of this? No video, no
Yeah,
picture, nothing like that. And then Drake, and we all know Drake loves to talk about anyone that even looked at him too hard. And this
yeah.
nigga wouldn't even want no rap song, no diss
Silent,
against
nothing.
silent. And then now I'm thinking about, I'm like, yo, all of this is making sense. This guy really might. We thought Suge Knight Diddy might be the Suge Knight that's not locked up. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying?
That's what somebody posted a picture. That's like, yeah, you thought Suge Knight was P Diddy. No, you thought Suge Knight was Suge Knight when P Diddy was actually Suge Knight.
And then you start to think about how that relates to like how we were talking about with Check, how about the whole thing with if he was actually responsible for the Tupac situation, and all these things just start clicking, and you're like, bro, this man might have been getting away with literal murder for a long time.
I wouldn't doubt it. The constant nickname change, yo. I didn't even think about that.
Constant. Up P Diddy.
Paper
You know what I'm
trails,
saying?
baby. Hey, let me get rid of that nickname real quick. Who did that? Puffy did that. I don't know what Puffy you talk about, bro.
I'm seeing in the media in the past 2 days all these different guys that have been bodyguards for him that have all these stories. One bodyguard talking about they were in like Istanbul or some country, and he dropped them off at a Turkish bath. And apparently at Turkish baths, there's a bunch of grown men bathing together and doing other stuff. And this bodyguard says that this has been multiple times that he waited for Diddy outside of some Turkish baths in other countries. And I don't know if anybody's familiar with Burning Man. Burning Man is this kind of this it's not a festival, but I guess you would call it like a convention out in the desert. It happens somewhere in Nevada. And there's like a lot of weird sexual drug stuff goes on there. And I remember one year seeing pictures of Diddy. He was out there, and Diddy was out there with like his little crew. And I remember even then I'm like, yo, what's Diddy doing at Burning Man? Like, he don't seem. And then, like I said, you start thinking about all this stuff and how everything that's been going on. You're like, yo, this is all adding up. It's all making sense now. Like, so what do you think? Do you think? Oh, and another thing that I've heard recently is also some abuse. We've heard about the abuse allegations against Cassie. I'm hearing he was also abusing his late ex-wife, Kim Porter, mother of his. Is that her last name, Kim Porter? I'm so sorry, I forget her
Porter.
last
Yeah, Porter, right? Porter.
Mother of his children. They're saying that he was abusing her as well. And as we know, Diddy has basically gone silent. He stepped down from Revolt. He was running Revolt
Mhm.
TV. He had to step down from that. I don't think he's posted anything really recently on social media explaining or talking about it. His family, like his son, people who are usually active, are not very active. So what do you think is going on, man? Do you think this might be the end, the downfall of Diddy, or you think he's going to bounce back from this?
I don't think there's no bouncing back from this. It's just
No.
more that's gonna start coming out about him. Like after this, you're starting to see on a daily basis somebody come out with a new sexual assault or a new story about Diddy. Maybe people are starting to lose this fear of his power.
Right, right. Because it's harder to use that power when the spotlight's on you and everyone's looking.
Yeah,
You get what I'm saying?
yeah.
So it's like I feel like he's at a standstill right now where he can't really do nothing or act out in the way that he would or do what he does to get things done.
Mhm.
Um,
I,
but
I
it's
I think
crazy.
this. I think this. I was thinking the other day. This power trip probably came from the whole Shine shooting incident. Once he beat that case, he probably
Yeah,
realized
maybe
how
that.
powerful he is.
And
You know
like
what
a
I
lot of
mean?
people said that time, Shine went to prison for him, dog. Like because
Yeah.
Diddy was the one who really did what was alleged. But at the time, Shine was on his real gangster, and he took the fall. So I think I don't know. It's as sad as it is to believe, and as much as you don't want to believe it, it
Mhm.
makes sense. It starts to
And then
make sense.
you think back to that because I was looking at stuff on that specific case, and at the time, Shine said, "Well, Shine apparently forgave P Diddy
Oh yeah,
afterwards."
right,
You know what I
right,
mean?
right, right. Yeah,
And he said at the time he was mad because there was random witnesses coming out that were on P Diddy's camp that was pointing to Shine. You know what I'm saying? Like Shine's trying to beat a case,
right.
and P Diddy's camp and is bringing up witnesses pointing it to Shine, saying, "Hey, this guy did it. Let him take the fall for it."
Yeah, because P
You
Diddy
know what I
wasn't
mean?
gonna take that fall.
Exactly. So Shine was kind of, you know what I'm saying, mad at that in the beginning and apparently ended up forgiving him. But going back to see stuff like that is like, oh, I see why P. Diddy had a power trip after that. Because
Right, right.
you know what I'm saying? You
A
see that
legit
happen and you're like, oh, I
confirmation.
beat that. And if he had anything to do with Tupac and Big, and he's like, I got away with that. Man, can't nobody touch me. So he's out here probably wilding, which that apparently was the case according to all these stories and according to Cassie.
Yeah. And so, and what do you think as far if it? I mean, the Cassie thing is out the window now because apparently she got money, and it's hard. It's kind of messed up because you start to think like stuff like this is why people that are victimized don't really like to come out or speak because once some money is thrown into a situation, it's like it disappears. Because Cassie came out saying all this stuff, and then as soon as
Mhm.
they reached some sort of settlement, she went silent. And then this is when everyone else started talking. So, do you
Yeah,
think is there even any kind of punishment or what would happen to him if any of this was found out to be true? Do you think?
man, I feel like he'd get that Bill Cosby effect. I want to say
Yeah, you think
because I
so?
mean them some real allegations like sexual trafficking when it comes to Cassie.
Right.
Um, who knows? He probably does the same thing to a lot of other women. And I was thinking about it too. He's probably just one of the people who just really just crosses the line. You know what I mean? According to Cassie, that is what happened. He kind of just really crossed the line. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, with the whole freak off stuff and all this
Yeah, but
stuff.
he
Like
was having her like, dude, and I don't know, bro. It's like it's stuff that when you even reading it, you're like, bro, I hope this ain't true because
that's
this
what I'm
is a
saying. And then we
not
talking
that he
about
blew up Kid Cudi's car, like I
yeah, blowing up Kid Cudi's car is insane, bro.
like, bro, like my nigga, like.
And then you're adopting artists. Like apparently he had what do you call it, guardianship over Justin Bieber.
Mhm.
Had
Remember that?
Usher
Remember,
sleeping at his
remember that
house.
time a long time ago when he was running them what them little boys called B5, them little boys.
B5. And then you start to think this freak ass nigga, this freak ass nigga is probably doing all this weird stuff with these young kids and
And promising them, and you talking about you a little, you. I mean, we're not gonna get into specifics, but you got these kids in a room or wherever you had them, and you could, they know you P Diddy, you could promise them the world, and they know you could
Mhm.
deliver it on a silver platter. So he was probably putting some of them in some compromising situations, and
That's OD, bro.
I don't know. To me, it's just like, what the hell? My
And I
question,
gotta and I do gotta say, like, a lot of people, I don't know. I'm not gonna automatically point it to him doing some like you know homosexual stuff, right? But I will point it to him doing some like super freaky stuff. Like it's still bad if you got a 13-year-old Usher or a 13-year-old Justin Bieber watching him have do something with somebody
Yeah, that's
else. You know what I'm saying?
what I'm saying. Like,
So
it's not good.
yeah. If I'm thinking about it, if I'm thinking I could probably see him doing stuff, some weird stuff like that, to where they like, yeah, he had me see and do some stuff at a young age that like I can't even talk about. I could see why they say stuff like that. I think Usher said something like that.
Yeah, bro. And then he obviously, yeah, it's just all bad. I just hope, and this is question is like, why is it always the people that have these kind of weird things about them that end up getting money in millions? You get what I'm saying? It's like because you don't have to necessarily have money and be disgusting. You get what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Like
I feel like it comes after you get the money in millions, and then
you
you
would say
just
you feel like this was probably these habits were habits that he probably developed after he started to
yeah, he
become
developed it. He developed when he
yeah,
feel like he can't be stopped. He can't be touched. I mean,
yeah, man,
he
that's what
said
I
it
think.
plenty of times.
I think about like imagine the feeling of like waking up in the morning or even going to bed at night knowing that your money is infinite. Like it might as well not even have a number because
Yeah,
it's just infinite. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that you have that kind of money and power, you can go anywhere in the world at any moment. You can do anything in the world at any moment. You can buy anything in the world at any moment. That probably has a lot of people start to think more about their dark side, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like they start to think
yeah,
about what's
yeah.
all the dark shit that I could do that I
Start pushing
couldn't.
the limits. Yeah,
You know? Once you start, then it's probably way a lot more and more difficult to even to end that.
because
But yeah,
seeing that whole affidavit or whatever you call it about the whole Cassie situation, some of the stuff he was pulling is just like OD. Like
like this disgusted, like stuff you wouldn't
yeah,
even want to repeat. You know what I'm saying? Like you're just like, and to put somebody through stuff like that is like, bro, like, especially a young lady that you're supposed to be in like a relationship with or claim that you have feelings for or love or whatever. It's just wild.
mhm.
But yeah, man. So I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen to him. I feel like if it is what everyone's saying and he does have this as much power and money, nothing's gonna happen to him. I would just hope that if anything, this little bump in the road gets him to pause that behavior and stop and kind of like chill with it and realize that you don't want to be in this situation. You don't want people to know you're even like this as a person. But I'm interested in what he's gonna say, like his first big moment back, or once he goes back to social media. Like, is he gonna address this fully? Is he
I
gonna?
don't think so. What can you say? I mean,
What can you say? I guess.
especially if the I'm pretty sure there's people out there who got what they call receipts or
Oh yeah,
proof
yeah,
of these things. And like I said, I feel like more stuff is just going to keep dropping. People just going to keep coming up with proof and things like that. I don't think it's going to end well for him. I don't
yeah.
think it's going to end well for him. It's going to be like a domino effect. And
Domino
Cassie
effect
started it.
for sure, for sure. And she got paid, so let's see who else gets
She
paid.
got paid. Yeah.
All right, man. That's all we got for tonight, man. Shout out to everybody that was in the chat. Shout out to just 80. Shout
Facts.
out to Rachel. Shout out to Leger. Shout out to my nigga Infinite Media.
Shout
I
out
don't
to
know.
y'all, man.
Yeah, shout out to y'all for talking with us. Everybody else, we're definitely gonna cut up the videos, have upload them to the YouTube. Everybody just keep checking out the YouTube. We say this every week, but we got a lot of stuff in the works. We're slowly planning everything and getting everything together. So we're gonna try to keep doing the live shows in between as much as we can. But hopefully next week we can come right back next week and do one again. So
Facts, facts.
yeah, I don't know if you got anything else, Don, or no, or
No, I'm good, man. Everybody keep tuning in, keep tapping in, and catch us next week.
facts, man. Peace. Stay up.